What up, folks? Welcome back to ULTRAZILLA Toys, and today I have a review of the Super Robot Chogokin Steel Jeeg, or Kotetsu Jeeg. I think that's how you say it. But I like to call him Steel Jeeg. That's what I've always known this particular Super Robot as, and I'm going to bring him a little closer because he's a little guy. He is a little super robot. I didn't know he was going to be this small. I mean, there are Super Robot Chogokin, which is from Bandai Tamashii Nations, if you don't know the brand, is a brand of super robots, for the most part. There's some other stuff in there, but mostly super robots. And, you know, they give you these, like, smaller, you know, partial die-cast figures. It's like the more posable action figure section of like Soul of Chogokin, I would say, kind of, sort of. The discount line. Yet this was still really expensive. And probably a bit too expensive, to tell you the truth. I got this from Ami and shipped. It was like, I don't know, $80 maybe. 70-80 bucks, I think, somewhere in there. It's been a while since I got this guy, but I haven't had a chance to review him, and I really wanted to get to that because he's definitely unique, you know. The series of Jeeg here, Steel Jeeg, was created by Go Nagai, and who's done like a lot of like famous Mazinger and Devilman, who I'll be reviewing a figure of very shortly, and Tetsuya I want to say Yoshida, something like that. Please forgive me if I got that wrong. I can't remember it completely, and that's the artist of the manga. It was also a Toei series in 1975, a very good year. But yeah, so I've always known this character. I haven't seen much of the anime, the old anime series, but I've always known this character. Like, he's always been around. And it's hard to forget a character that looks like this, with like this yellow, like bright yellow, and these like big green boots that like that look like boots, you know, that come all the way up here. It's such an interesting design. Always thought so. So I really wanted to get it, and I'm a collector of this line, so you know, it was definitely one that I wanted. You know, it's very cool. So I do recall seeing something with Jeeg. I don't think it was the actual series when I was in Italy as a kid, because I really recall, like, my memory of this character goes really far back. I just can't remember from where. There's some other like super robots from that trip that I remember better than Jeeg, but again, like, it's hard to forget this guy. So let's look at him a little more closer. It's a really cool head sculpt. I like that a lot. It really looks like that robot. Really nicely painted. Red and yellow here, and then you got the blue nose and the green looking helmet. One thing that's cool, like, I always thought he kind of looked like a jockey, which is interesting because he has a horse. There's a horse, and he can combine with the horse. They haven't made it yet in this line, but they have it in other lines, and I think it looks awesome. And you know, I don't know if there's gonna be one that's gonna come out for this, but I haven't heard anything new coming out for like SRC in future months. I know, you know, shortly we're gonna have the Emperor Mazinger, which I'm definitely gonna get. So, anywho, back to this guy. Sorry, Jeeg. I really like the design. It's cool. I love the yellow chest plate here, and the shoulder pads. Looks really nice, and it's painted really well. You know, that yellow just pops. I love this in the middle here. That looks really cool. This red with these like little silver things. I'm guessing some sort of beam comes out of there. Again, I haven't seen much Jeeg, but it does look cool. And then you have the green with the gold inside. What's interesting is there's a bunch of floating pieces here, which makes me think in the future maybe there's gonna be some sort of release of the horse, you know, that you could combine them with, because this piece is floating up here, and this piece, his like shorts are floating as well, which is interesting. So I mean, you do get good range of motion there for that, but we're not talking about that yet. We're just looking at the sculpt still. Again, I really dig these boot-like, long boot-like things. It just gives it a really cool, unique look. It's different, you know? He's not like, you know, the more standard looking, I don't know, is there a standard Super Robot? But, excuse me, guys. But yeah, like, it's just a little different. And I like his feet, kind of bubbly. So it's a nice looking figure, for sure. It definitely has a good look to it. And the paints are really nice throughout. I'm placing them back a little because I want to show you what else he comes with. Right now he has two different hands. He did come with the two fist hands in package. Here's the other one, and the other like clawy hands. So those are the two opposite ones of the ones he's wearing right now. Excuse me. And then he has, and this I'm guessing is some sort of other power that he has, and I really don't know it, but it's his two hands gripped together, which is cool. And you pop them in on either side. I haven't done it yet, so let's give that a check right now. So you pop these two hands out, and we shall give this. Okay, I had to make a little cut there, a little coughing cut. So, and I placed his hands in there. So that's how he looks with his hands clenched together. Again, I'm guessing maybe some beam comes out of here. Tell me below if you know a little more about Jeeg than I do in those regards, but it looks really cool. And his elbows pull out a little more, everything pulls out a little more to have that happen. So he's got a little extra articulation, which we'll get to again very shortly. I'm going to put these hands back in. And let's go. Let's get in. Okay. One in. And two. Nope. And two. Ah, there we go. Okay. But that's it. I'm going to pull out his arms now at his bicep. That might sound weird, but a lot of the Super Robot Chogokins do that. So, or Chogokin, whatever you want to call them. I've been calling them Chogokin for forever. So he comes with these two rockets, which look really nice. Beautifully sculpted, nicely painted. You got some metallic red here, some blue, silver. So you take these and you pop them in to his upper arms, where you took out his lower arms, and there you go. Now he could blast his way towards you. So that might sound weird, but another thing that's going on here from the series is that there's like this like jet. That's kind of like, you know, futuristic jet that comes apart and forms parts of Jeeg, and these are part of them. So it's all cool. It's that, you know, awesome classic Super Robot style. But that's awesome stuff. And the only other thing he comes with is this little piece here that you could pop in back here if you have a stand that you want to put them on. So that's that. There is some articulation in this. You can turn it a bit if you want to see that. You can do that like an elbow and swivel it around. But let's get to the actual articulation on this guy. His head is on a ball joint. Can't go down too much on the actual head, but then his neck can go down, so that's good. Can go up like that, and you do get some swivel in there, and you can go side to side on it. His neck again is on another joint there, and which makes him go back and forth. In his chest, you can see it opens up here and here, pulls out, which gives it that extra articulation when you want to close his hands together, which is very cool. And his shoulders completely come out from the socket there. So I mean, he does swivel around, but that goes out, which is really cool. Again, that's like for extra articulation. So very, very nice, good range of motion in there. You can swivel, like, obviously, at the bicep to where it comes out. His elbows, you know, have normally one joint there, but then they do extend out. Losing my tripod. So there you go. And his wrists come out at that joint, so you do get a good range of motion there, swivel and hinge. So very cool. He does have an ab crunch up here, which is good. A waist swivel. Again, these pieces float, so it doesn't impede anything really, but he can't go all the way around. His legs are on these massive, like, steel ball joints, which is good. But these big boots impede it going outwards and doesn't get so far back. Or actually, back it actually can go, but you know what? He does like circle around, so you can get out. So not bad there. And there is thigh swivel in there. His knees bend there, one bend there, but it also has extra extension, so you do get a double, like his elbows. So you get that extra extension there. Pops in and out, which is cool. And his feet are on a swivel, but there is an ankle rocker as well. So you do have a really fair amount of articulation on this guy. He's really cool. So I like him in those regards, really good. You can get him in a lot of poses. Again, if you have a stand, you pop this in, you could do a good flying pose, which is great. So very, very nice stuff. And again, there is some die cast in here. This whole middle piece, where you see the red, is die cast. And his feet are die cast. And his joints all inside him, like I said, that hold them together really well. Die cast in there, die cast in there, I can see it. Is his neck die cast? I don't think so. But this is definitely die cast, so I believe that's plastic. Some of it is cold, but it doesn't feel quite like die cast. I'm gonna say a lot of it is plastic. But yeah, this whole middle is totally die cast. Yeah. So there you go. There's your die cast in them. It's not a ton, but it's there, and gives him some good weight. You know, not like a huge amount of weight, but it's not bad. And it feels good. It's a nice feeling figure. It's small, but it feels really nice. So let me put him down here. Lower my camera a bit. There we go. And let's take a look at some size comparisons. Here he is with ULTRAZILLA. Review was earlier this week. If you missed it, please give it a check. I really like this guy. And here he is with the Legacy Black Ranger from the new movie. So you can see how small this guy is. He's really small. And how about Braver Quest here? I think that's his name. I haven't looked at it in a while. From Kamen Rider X-Aid. So I was debating either doing the review of this dude or this dude, and I went with Jeeg, who's been around here a little bit longer. Mafex Boba Fett. And a Marvel Legends Draxter. So there you go. He's small. Oh, you know what? Here's old standard lately who doesn't want to stand in any video. SH Figure Arts Ultraman. So there you go. He's even smaller than Ultraman, and as you guys know, this Ultraman's been pretty small. But anywho, that's all I got on this guy. I think he's pretty awesome. He's small. The only downfall was the price. But if you collect the line and you collect super robots, I think it's well worth it. It's a nice piece, you know. So give it a check. I think you'll dig it. Alright guys, that's all I got. If you can like, comment, subscribe here, that would be awesome. Please check out my Facebook page, ULTRAZILLA Toys. I will have pics up of this guy soon. And until next time, peace out, peeps.